If you're noticing that you're losing a lot of money trading Bitcoin, then you're probably making one of these 7 mistakes. Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you for tuning in today on my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and on this channel I teach how to trade Bitcoin and invest in Bitcoin. I have been trading for over a year now, and boy have I learned a lot. I've been trading Bitcoin and I learned so much. Not only have I learned, but I also made a lot of mistakes. In the beginning, I made a lot of mistakes, and these mistakes cost me a lot of money. I lost lot of money. Like, I can't even tell you how much, but through these mistakes, I was able to learn how to become a better trader. And I want to share with you guys my experience and all these mistakes that I made so that you also will become aware of them. You might be making these mistakes, you don't know. So I'm going to bring it into your awareness so that you don't make these mistakes anymore. I want you guys to not lose money. Yes, you can make a lot of money with Bitcoin, but just as it is so easy to make a lot of money with Bitcoin, it is just as easy to lose all that money if you are not trading the right way. Yes, you put yourself at risk of losing a lot of money, but I'm gonna save you from that by sharing with you this 7 mistakes which, if you stop making from today, then you will start losing less money. You'll notice that you're going to start making more and more money. So the number one mistake which I made when I first got started with trading Bitcoin was that I was using a lot of leverage. I was using leverage that was way too high. And back then, I thought it was a good thing because I saw how using a high leverage was making it so I make way more money, right? I didn't understand the impact that using high leverage such as 20x and more would have on my trade. I just saw the benefits of how it was helping me to make more money. So I used a high leverage, and in the beginning, like, I would say, like, in the first few trades, I did make quite a lot of money. However, I also lost all those money at the same time. So I was using a high leverage, and it cost me a lot. I lost a lot of money just because I was using a high leverage. I started learning how dangerous using a high leverage is for a beginner. If, like, in order to use a high leverage, you have to really know what you're doing. You have to understand the kind of position that you're taking, why you're taking it, and you basically have a solid plan on how you're going to exit. This is when it is, like, good to use a high leverage. But me, back then, I didn't really understand what I was doing. I was just using a high leverage just because I saw that it was helping me to make more money. So I would just put that 20x. The leverage that I was using mostly was like 25x, like 20x, and I would go all the way to like 30x, right? And I use that, and then it makes you lose money fast. How that works is you get liquidated. So there's something called liquidation. I don't know if you know what it means, but basically liquidation is when the exchange will take all your money if the market is going against you. So if you're using a high leverage, then your chances of getting liquidated becomes way closer. But if you're using a low leverage, then your liquidation price will be pushed further away. So that's what I started learning. I started realizing that if I use a high leverage, I'm going to end up getting liquidated very fast and end up losing all my money. But if I'm using a low leverage, although I'm not making as much money, but the chances of me losing money now starts to decrease. So that's what I learned. Do not use a high leverage. If you're just starting out with trading Bitcoin, if you haven't been trading for, like, I say, a year, if you have not been trading for a year or so, do not use a high leverage. Stick with a low leverage, and the one that I recommend is 10x or lower. These leverages are safe. The second mistake that I made when I was trading Bitcoin in the beginning is that I was relying on indicators. Yes. When I first took my course that taught me how to trade Bitcoin, it was talking about all these indicators that would tell you when to like buy and sell, and you didn't have to do a lot of work, and I saw that as a good thing. I'm like, oh, okay, so I don't really need to understand anything on those charts, so there's just a little indicator that can just tell me when to enter the market, and then I'll make money. It's just that easy. I saw that as a good opportunity, so I took advantage of those indicators and I just started relying on them. But this indicator also cost me a lot of money. Why? Because they are not 100% accurate. They lag so much to the point. So whenever there was this indicator that I was using, what is it called? I would say, yeah, it's called the RSI indicator, Relative Strength Index. That's the long version of it. So this indicator, I learned about how it works, right? So apparently when the indicator is at 70, it means that the market is overbought. And then when the indicator is at 30, it means that the market is oversold. So I learned how it works. So then whenever I see that it's at the overbought, I start shorting the market. But then I noticed that the price of Bitcoin is not going down, it's still going up. Even though the RSI is saying that the market is overbought, the price of Bitcoin was not going down, it was still going up. So I started realizing that these indicators are actually trapping me. They're making me lose money because I was relying on them. I was like, nothing else. I would just set up my alert on TradingView, and then when the indicator notifies me, and I just go and open my trade based on what the indicator told me, and I lost a lot of money by that. So do not rely on indicator when you're just getting started. Do not, okay? Because indicators, they're not always 100% accurate. They're good to use to confirm your analysis. So the best thing I learned is that instead of relying on indicator, I should become my own indicator. I should learn to become my own indicator. And how you can do that is by learning to read the chart. You see this chart here? Yeah, on TradingView, the Bitcoin chart, it tells you, like these candlesticks, they're telling you basically what's happening in the market. And if you can learn, if you just commit to learning what these candlesticks are telling you, then you don't need any indicator. You'll be able to just predict the market yourself. This is what I did. I decided to just commit to it. I started learning what these candlesticks are telling me. I learned all the different patterns that there was, and I became a better trader, and I wasn't using indicators anymore. To this day, I don't really use that much indicators. There's this one indicator that I like because it's actually been more reliable than all the other indicators that I've tried in the past, and this indicator is called the Natchez Bowl. It's a indicator owned by Crypto University, and this is the university where I took my courses and training on cryptocurrency trading from. Yeah, so this indicator, Natchez Bowl, I liked it because it was actually more accurate than all the other indicators. Whenever it was time to sell, the indicator would tell me it's time to sell, and whenever it's time to buy, the indicator would tell me it's time to buy. And whenever I followed that indicator, I also noticed I was actually making money from it, not all the time, but 80% of the time I was making money from it. But like I'm gonna say, if you're just getting started, you do not want to rely on indicator. Practice learning how to read this chart on your own. It will save you a lot of money, and it will make you a better trader. So the third mistake that I made when I was getting started with trading is that I didn't really have a plan when I was trading. So I would just like look at the price of Bitcoin on Binance, and if I just saw that it's like go down by like a lot, I'll just enter the market like that. I'm like, just go in. I'm like, hey, it looks like it's going down. And then I open a trade on Binance thinking that I'm going to make money. And then The moment I enter, that's when it starts. Like the moment I notice that it's going down, I enter. The moment I short it, that's when it starts going up, you know? So I didn't have a solid plan. I didn't even know when I was going to exit the market. I was just entering and then looking at my P&L, my profits, right? Just seeing how much I'm making. And if I saw that I made like maybe $100, then I just closed my position. So I did that repetitively. There were times when I actually made money from that, but a lot of the times I actually lost a lot of money, right? I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know I didn't set up a plan of when to enter the market and when to exit. And this is the thing. You need to have a plan. Before you enter a trade on any exchange, you need to have a plan. A plan of when exactly are you entering and when do you plan to exit. And this plan has to be it has to be like intelligence plan. It can't just be a plan where you're just going by your emotions, or you don't even know why you're taking it. You have to know why you take it, and you can know that based on the technical analysis that you did, right? Before entering any trade, you need to do your technical analysis. You need to try to analyze what direction the market is going so that you can take the correct trade. That's what I did not do in the beginning, but I started learning about that. So now I don't just enter the market whenever, right? I don't just go and place a random trade. I'm very, very picky with my trades now. Before entering a trade, I always make sure I take at least half an hour to really analyze the markets to see what is going. The things I try to look for is I try to identify what trend we're in, and then afterwards, I try to identify the support and the resistance. Once I know these things, then I'll figure out where is my best entry, my entry point. That's when I will enter, and then I figure out when is my next exit, and then I exit from there. So this is what you want to do. You want to have a plan before trading. Don't just jump into a trade just like that, okay? Trade safely. The other mistake I made when I was first getting started with trading is that I started out with a large amount of money. We're talking like over 5K. And because I was under the impression that if by using a lot of money, I'll be able to make a lot of money. Like my goal was to be making like $500 per day or more. So I figured that if I use 5K and I use a high leverage, I'll be able to make that. Boy, was I wrong though. It's the opposite. I didn't end up making a lot of money. I actually blew my account. Like at a blink of an eye. It just blew. I open my eyes, I see my trade, and then I just turn around, I just turn around just to like blink, open my eyes, and then money was gone. I didn't even understand it. So do not start out with a large sum of money. It's best to use small money, like very small, and this has to be money that you can afford to lose. Okay, you don't want to use money that you're relying on to pay some of your bills, or just don't use money that you need. Okay, use money that you don't need, and it has to be money that you can afford to lose. You have to be ready to lose that money. Be ready and accept that fact. If you end up losing that money, let it not affect you. Start out with a very small amount, very small. Like I would say start out with like 500, the least. Another mistake I made when I was first getting started with trading is that when I identify the support and the resistance, what I would do next is I would short the market when it came to the support, and then I would long it when it came to the resistance. And this was a big mistake. I didn't know what I was doing, okay? I didn't know that you're actually supposed to long it when it is at the support, and you're supposed to short it when it is at resistance. I didn't understand all that. So yeah, that's the mistake I make. So you don't want to do that. Whenever you identify the support and resistance, long it when it is at the support, short it when it is at the resistance. You the chances of you making money through using that strategy is way higher. This is probably the biggest mistake I made. I'm telling you, it's the biggest mistake, and I honestly regret it. I always regret it. Every time whenever I would make that mistake, I would always regret it at the end. And this mistake, oh my God, I don't even know how. Okay, so yeah, I would regret this mistake whenever I would make it, because this is actually one of the mistakes that caused me to lose a lot of money. When I'm telling you, if I did not do this mistake so many times, I would not have lost a lot of the money that I lost. And this is the mistake of fearfully exiting the market whenever I see that I'm in a loss. So I would enter a trade, right? I did, after doing my technical analysis, then I enter a trade, and whenever I just see that I'm starting to lose money, say like, I don't know, 2%, 3%, I just become so fearful. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to lose all my money. So it's best, I think the market is probably going to go against me. I was wrong. So let me just close my position now, because I don't want to lose all my money. So I just fearfully close my position, get out of the trade, accept the loss that I got. I would do that so many times. And you know what would happen? Every time I close my position, after some time, that's when the market starts going the direction that I actually wanted it to go. So then when I saw that, I would get so like frustrated. I would get so mad. I'm like, wow, I regret this. I should not have exited my trade. Look at this. If I had not exited my trade, I would still be in profit right now. So I just regret it, but then I kept repeating that same mistake. So I would say that I was trading with my emotions. That is called trading with your emotions. And that's why they say once you enter a trade, you want to close your computer, close your phone, or whatever it is that you're trading on. Close it. Do not look at the market anymore. Set up your take profit and just close it. Forget about it. Get on with your day. Okay. After an hour or so, then you can come back to see what is happening with your trade, and then you're less likely to be impulsive about getting out of the market if you notice that you're lost, because that is the cycle of the market. I've noticed that the market, it always will retrace. Like, it doesn't go up in a straight line, and it never goes down in a straight line, right? It will go up a little and then down a little, up a little, down a little, up a little, down a little. So you should expect that to happen. If you see that you're losing money, even though you entered at a specific time, even though you've done your technical analysis and you see that the market is going a certain way and you are right about it, but then once you enter your trade, you start losing money, don't exit it. Don't exit out of fear. Just remain in that trade, because eventually the price will retrace and start going the direction that you had predicted that it would be going to. So please, whenever you enter a trade, do not exit out of fear. Set your stop loss, okay? Stop loss is going to save you a lot, because it will make it so you lose less money. And also entering at the right time. This is one of the other things that I learned. It's not about like, you don't want to just enter the trade just at any time. You want to enter at the right time. You know what I'm saying? There's like a right time to enter the market. And usually those right times is usually at the support and the resistance. Say that when you come to look at the chart, you notice that the price went to the support and then it bounced back from the support, and now it's a little bit way higher from the support, way high, and then you decide to enter your trade at that moment. That is not a right time to enter, because chances are it might retrace back to the support again, right? Because just because it bounced away from the support does not mean that it's just going to keep going up to the resistance. There are times when, even though it bounces away from the support, it will go up a little, it will not hit the resistance, and then boom, go back to the support again. So you want to always enter at the support, so long at the support and short at the resistance. it will save you a tons of money. It will help you to start making more profit. This is the last mistake I'm going to be sharing with you that I have made. I definitely have made way more mistakes than this, but to keep this video short, I am going to just share this last one with you guys. Okay, if I decide to list all the mistakes that I made, this video is going to be way too long. Okay, the last mistake that I made when I was first getting started with trading is I left my trade open overnight, and this is a terrible mistake. It's a terrible mistake because you don't know what the market is going to do while you're sleeping. The cryptocurrency market is open 24/7. It's open 24/7, yes. And that means people are constantly trading. You can be sleeping, but market is still running. And this means that anything can happen. You can be in a trade and you predicted that the market is going a certain way. You go to sleep, your trade is open, you go to sleep, and then some crazy news comes out which just alternates the whole direction that the market was going to go to, and then you end up getting liquidated. That is the risk of trading. That is the risk of leaving your trade open overnight. Never do that unless you're using very low leverage. Like, the amount of leverage that you're trading with is like very minimum, like I would say 2x, and you're not using that much money. Okay, then yeah, go ahead, leave your trade open overnight, because the chances of you getting liquidated is extremely low. But if you're like me, you're using like 10x, and then you have like, you know, a large sum of money, then please don't risk that. Don't risk that at all. Do not leave your trade open at night. Only trade when you are fully awake. You are fully awake and fully aware of what is going on. If you're not aware of what's going on, say you're super tired, then it's probably not a good day for you to trade. Okay, only trade when you are fully awake, you know what's going on, put yourself in the right mindset before going to trade, because trading can be stressful. I'm telling you, it can take a whole toll on your body, especially when you're losing money. You can start feeling very depressed. It's not a good thing. This is why you want to be in the right state of mind. Put yourself in the right state of mind before jumping into the market. So I think that is it. Like I said, there's way more mistakes that I made, but I'm not going to share all of them here. Maybe in some other video I'm going to share them, but for today, this is all I have for you guys. So I encourage you to review these mistakes that I made, right? Because we learn from our mistakes. I learned from these mistakes, and this is why I'm now a profitable trader. For the past 6 months, all my trades have been in profit constantly. For the past 6 months, I've not lost any money, and this is because I learned from these mistakes. I applied the lesson that I learned from it, and now I'm trading way better. So that is my purpose for this video, is to show you that you guys can become aware of these mistakes, and that you can also start avoiding them. If you're already doing a mistake, you want to avoid them completely, like throw it out of the way. Like from today, stop it. If you're doing it already, just stop it. So I encourage you to apply these tips and become a better trader. Thank you for watching, and if you are not yet subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel so that you can learn more on how to trade Bitcoin and invest in Bitcoin and every other cryptocurrency. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.